This is not a kid-friendly show.
Yo, what's going on, my dudes? Welcome to another stream coverage video. This time we're going to be talking about mining and smithing rework. Now, before we get into this, anything you're seeing on screen in terms of figures of XP, the rate at which he's mining ore, the rate at which he's smithing, the XP you're getting from smithing, all of that is placeholder, so none of that is set in stone, so don't worry about that. And this is just a proof of concept, so the XP rates, etc., like I said, aren't final, so don't worry about any of that. However, if you do happen to calculate everything you're seeing on screen, they said that whatever the final rates end up being, they definitely won't be at least slower than what you're seeing right now. They'll either be the same or faster. So what you're seeing right here is runite ore, somebody mining rune. Rune will now be level 50 mining. It'll have XP rates suitable for level 50, and related items and equipment will have tier 50 worthy prices and alch prices. On release, they're aiming to preserve people's bank values by substituting those items for other items. That's as far as I know about that. I really don't know how it's going to work, so we're going to have to wait and see. So as you've probably noticed by watching so far, all you got to do is click on the rock and you can AFK. You'll be able to continue to keep mining ore and not just get one ore per rock. Every so often, your character will get tired and take a break if you've been watching. You can choose to click immediately when your character gets tired to resume mining for a more active and better XP. However, you could choose to not click and your character will resume mining on his own. It's a more AFK method and the XP rates will be less, but it is an option. And it's important to note that your agility levels affect how often you take a break. Your mining and strength levels will affect how quickly you mine. You'll be getting XP for every strike, however you're not going to be getting necessarily an ore every strike. And they're also experimenting with stackable ore. They feel like 28 inventory spaces is not a high enough number to actually satisfactorily get anything out of mining or smithing. However, at the same time, they don't really want people to infinitely mine, so they're going to work on some type of medium ground. Right now they have stackable ore that may not necessarily be in the final builds. They may find some type of alternative that still allows you to mine AFK to an extent, maybe not as big as we're seeing right now with infinitely stacking ore, so just bear that in mind. You'll also notice that occasionally you'll have an exploding rock. This is almost like the mining version of a woodcutting bird's nest. However, if you happen to mine one of these exploding rocks, you'll get a decent chunk of XP for doing so, so you're actually encouraged to move around if you happen to come across one of these rocks. Basically, they're going to be set on a timer, so they said if you happen to be AFKing, and even if you log out or lobby and it doesn't get claimed, next time you come back to the game and you lobby in, you should almost definitely see an exploding rock. So that's really cool. As I'm sure you're aware, they're also adding 4 new tiers above rune for levels 60, 70, 80, and 90, all of which will not be available through combat via monster drops. They're not necessarily sure about where they want to take the direction of Sarin stones yet, so they may do something with it. They may incorporate it with the core mining and make it give a secondary ore for tier 90 and 80 bars, but it's not 100% set in stone. They don't know where they want to take Sarin stones just yet, so I guess we're gonna have to stay tuned for that. With that, now let's jump into smithing. So since coal is going to be stackable, the coal bag needs to be reworked, and they're deciding where they want to go with that. So since we're getting stackable ores, bars will also be stackable, and you can smelt them with the Make 60 interface. They're not entirely sure if they want to keep this exactly the way it is right now. So again, like I said, there's that caveat that they're still experimenting with this and may not be in the exact final build. It's also based on your guys' feedback. They're also potentially trying to do like an artisan's workshop method where you bring like noted ores to the furnace. Maybe it has a deposit area and you can convert those into bars right there on the fly. Or potentially smithing directly from your bank. Don't know how exactly that's going to work, but again, these are all just ideas. You may notice while smithing, there's a new progress bar above your head. This may be kept or may be scrapped if the smithing process gets sped up, as they want to slow down the time it takes to actually make items. This is aimed to effectively slow down the production of items that are coming into the game. Alternatively, they could choose to do a method where you make parts of an item and finally combine them into one. So that is also a potential route. Also important to note that with less items coming to the game, this could drastically affect invention. The next thing they show off is now you can have plus items. After completing the rune longsword here, they can convert it to a rune longsword +1, +2, +3, +4, and up to +5. Doing so, you need to add 10 additional bars every tier. So to make a rune longsword +1, you need a rune longsword and 10 runite bars. To make a rune longsword +2, you need a rune longsword +1 and 20 bars. So it begins to scale up dramatically as you get to the higher tier. But you're actually encouraged to do this because supposedly upgrading these to higher tiers are better for your XP rates. You can then choose to decorate the item for a large chunk of XP or sell the undecorated version to the GE. They might just put in a hand-in XP option on the decoration process and make them just disappear from your inventory right off the bat, or may make you turn them into an NPC. The whole core aim for plus items is for them to be destroyed for XP. Anyways, they probably won't be changing much about dungeoneering, but they'll have to make sure it still works after the changes. As you know, the tiers are fully filled out, so there's not much they really need to do. They just need to make sure it doesn't break when this goes live. And the big mammoth of a task is that all drop tables that are currently in game right now that drop smithing related stuff and mining related stuff need to be reworked and looked at, which is, like I said, it's a huge task and it's going to take a while, but just know that that is something that's definitely coming with the mining and smithing rework. Anyways, guys, that's all I got so far on the showcase of mining and smithing. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to stay up to date on things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm out. Peace.